Hello fellow YouTubers and welcome to another episode of WOWS Misplays. And today it's me under the spotlight. I'm in the Cossack, the Royal Navy Cossack. Kel surprise, right? I mean, it's probably my most played tier 8 destroyer, if I'm brutally honest, and I'm old enough and wise enough and long enough in the tooth to know better than to do what I did in this match. Stay tuned.
Let's get to it.
Stay tuned. I mean, the good news is I wasn't the only one feeling the rust and the burn. My fellow teammates certainly put in a very entertaining match here. So let's have a look and see exactly what happened here. And if you don't know much about the Royal Navy Cossack, I can tell you she was a renowned tribal class destroyer with an emphasis on gunnery over torpedo warfare. During World War II, the ship's AA defences were reinforced at the cost of one of the main turrets. But we have her here in her full 4-turret configuration. And she really is very good at dueling and scrapping, and basically the short puff smokes that last for around 40 seconds a pop and have a very quick cooldown are very useful indeed. The whole playstyle is hit and run basically. Anyway, you can see from the map we've rather split. Our Boyce has decided in his own infinite wisdom to go unsupported towards C. Our Orkan is heading into B, and I'm basically sat between the B cap and the A cap, looking to spot for my team so we can find out where Team Red is.
Boost activated.
And I mean, at the very start of a match, it's really important to find out where all the threats are. Now, they've got a Harbin, a Tokachi, a Nagado, a Bismarck, an Ipiranga, an Akatsuki, and a Loyang. But the ship that scares me the most, if I'm brutally honest, out of that lot, is the Loyang with his smoke hydro gimmick. Yes, he's got 5.5 kilometer hydro, and he tends to smoke up and stick his hydro on, and there you go, right there, right on cue. And what he'll do is smoke up and then put his hydro on, or not. I'm not sure what this guy is doing actually. Okay, so that happened.
Torpedoes to port.
Now, he laid a torpedo spread, which I accelerated using my Royal Navy acceleration. I accelerated away from to avoid, because it's quicker in this ship to accelerate by a long way than it is to reverse. And all the time looking at the enemy fleet composition. I've got a Scharnhorst and a Bismarck with me. Did he just... Yeah, okay, so the Nesbeck swallowed a torpedo or two. That's probably not the best thing. My hydro had given him a good 4 kilometer warning on that, 3 kilometers from the hydro, and there was about a kilometer between me and the Nesbeck as those arrived. So he had plenty of time to avoid it. And also, being a Nesbeck, he's one of those newfangled German German cruisers. Get it right, Ram. God damn. German cruisers. And these secondary cruisers with the manual secondaries get 6 kilometer hydro. So you would like to think that he would have popped his hydro on just to be fully prepared, but he was relying on my hydro, and obviously he needed more warning than 4 kilometers. Anyway, he's withdrawing. The Scharnhorst is now behind an island. The Boyce is on sea. The Bismarck is in another time zone. Our Tennessee is pushing forward to support the Boyce. Okay.
Nice work.
And we lost the Orkan. Our radar destroyer, the Orkan, yes, he's got radar, decided to pick an engagement with an Akatsuki and lost horribly. Quite how he managed to lose to an Akatsuki that's in smoke when he's got radar, I will never know. But it looks like he literally YOLO'd him and then got killed by the Ipiranga, is my suspicion. The Akatsuki just sat in smoke. I'm pretty sure that was the Ipiranga. Oh my goodness. Anyway, I've withdrawn from A because A, there's a lot of ships there, and B, there's a Loyang with the support of his fleet. And any time he wants, he can just go in, smoke up, hydro on, and take A back, and there's not a damn thing I can do about it. So I'm going to get more value from staying at B, or so I thought. So that's why I did what I did here, and I'm putting fire down on the Akazuki. Meanwhile, the voice has literally grounded himself on an island while the Iparanga pushes into C, as any decent Iparanga player would, and the Loyang is now capping A. I'm not sure what our Bismarck and Scharnhorst are doing over there. Our Scharnhorst clearly ran into that island and now is reversing. And there goes our boys. So far we've lost 2 ships in 5 minutes. Doing well, doing well. And at this stage I was thinking, please go dark, please go dark, please go dark, please go dark. And we finally went dark. And just to make damn sure of it, I popped a smoke. I didn't want the Akazuki giving me a nasty surprise. But I want to stay on cap because we need the caps. And we were behind on points, so there was that as well to consider. I was eyeing up the Iparanga with a view to some sort of island ambush with one of my smokes. Whilst looking at the mini-map, the Bismarck and the Austin are coming together. I know the Harbin even, the Harbin. You know he's got deep water torpedoes at Harbin, right? You know that, right? Okay. And he's turning to use his torpedoes as we speak. He's smoking up as he goes. He's going to offer the Bismarck a lot of broadside. And there's another Bismarck closing in on ours. Meanwhile, the Scharnhorst is very sensibly sitting on the corner. Okay. Meanwhile, on our side of the map, I've capped B, and I'm now looking at the Iparanga with a view to a kill. And what's this I see? The Tennessee and the Nesbeck have plucked up some courage and are pushing in. Okay, the Harbin took out the Bismarck, and the Bismarck took out the Harbin, so they traded. I'm quite surprised, actually, that that happened. I kind of expect a Bismarck to eat a Harbin alive at those sort of ranges, but of course he's got deep water torpedoes.
Generator activated.
Okay, so there's the Iparanga. And our gun detecting smoke is something like 2.5 kilometers. But what's this? I can't see him anymore because our Tennessee has decided to move into my smoke for some bizarre reason. So we have no eyes on the target, so I can't get my torps off it correctly. So I've just had to guess this. I'm winging it.
Engine boost deactivated.
And I get a hit. I get fortunate and I get a hit and a flood right on the nose of the Iparanga as he pushes in. I've kept 1 torpedo back and now I have him lit because we're within 2 kilometers, and when you get to 2 kilometers of an enemy ship, regardless of scenery, you spot them, hence the X-ray symbol detected, but they spot you too. So I'm wondering what the Tennessee's doing. I'm going to support him. I'm going to chuck a torpedo into the Iparanga, who's got his guns trained on me, interestingly enough. And yeah, he shoots me for 5k damage, and
Problem solved, sir.
that happened. And I'm still scratching my head as to why the Tennessee would do that. He was on full health. That was a full health Tennessee, and he could have just sat back and stayed out of trouble and kept the Iparanga lit while I did my magic, but no, he did that. And here we are. And I put little eyebrows up in chat because, well, my eyebrows were on the ceiling at this point. And then he says, what a sheet players. Okay. Interesting. So now we're down to just the 2 of us. And they've got 4 ships up. And I'm thinking, this Scharnhorst player must be some kind of god to have survived that long. And he's now squaring off with a Nagato. And meanwhile, the Loyang is still in play somewhere. And lo and behold, out pops the Loyang. Now this is the kind of range I'm really happy handling a Loyang from, but unfortunately the Takachi catches me pretty hard and takes a lot of my health. That is really unfortunate. And for me, that was pretty much match overall, so I thought. I thought, yeah, that's it. I'm hanging up my spurs. There's also the little Takachi. There's the Akazuki is floating around here too. He's quite low health, but he's healthier than me. So I really don't want to get into a gunfight with a Akazuki. So I decide discretion is a better part of valor and decide to bug out. Meanwhile, the Scharnhorst and the Nagato are squaring off against each other. And it's not looking good for the Scharnhorst, if I'm brutally honest. The Nagato distinctly outcalibers him. I think we're talking about 406s versus 384s or something. Actually, no, I think the Scharnhorst guns are even smaller than that, aren't they? She hasn't got Bismarck guns. She's got the smaller caliber. Yeah. Okay. Well, if you know the exact caliber of the Scharnhorst 43's main guns, let me know in the comments. But I think they're smaller. I think it's safe to say they're smaller than the Bismarcks, right? However, the Scharnhorst is built for brawling and the Nagato is built for sniping. So, yeah, rather predictably, the Scharnhorst takes him down. And at this stage, I'm thinking, you know what? We've got a chance. We might actually win this. And then the Takachi showed up. So I put some fire on him to decap him. And we got a fire and 3 decaps. And then I popped around the island with a view to doing it again. Meanwhile, the Scharnhorst is heading towards A, and we're behind on points. We have no caps. The C is being taken by the Takachi. I'd love to engage, but the Takachi is a light cruiser, and quite frankly, terrifies me when I've only got 1,493 health left. Therefore, I withdrew. And kept withdrawing. Now, this Takachi did take quite a long line, unfortunately, so I wasn't able to shoot from the corner of the island, which is what I wanted to do. And I wasn't aware that that structure on this island would have made me invisible. I assumed that if I fired, I'd get lit, and then he would just burn me down in true light cruiser fashion. So instead, I kept him lit for the Bismarck, the Scharnhorst even. And the Scharnhorst moves into A and starts capping. Meanwhile, we have no idea where the Akazuki is. Absolutely none whatsoever. I mean, he's keeping his nose clean, the Akazuki. He's staying out of trouble. I laid that spread of torps, hoping that the Takachi would wander into them. But as you can see, he's turned full out and is now heading north. I think that's his best guess as to where my last location was, because I did open up from the edge of that island, so he's assuming I'm still there, but we need a cap, so I'm heading down to B. And again, I didn't open fire really. The torps could have been better. It looks like he went full on north. I wasn't expecting that at all, if I'm honest. I was expecting him to turn around and come back at me, and it was at this point that the Scharnhorst swallowed an Akatsuki torp.
The enemy's about to win.
I'm thinking, oh my god, what have I got to do? And of course now the Akazuki is actually on cap, as you can see, and he's just moved off cap, so I can cap, and he's moving away from me. Now we really need this cap so badly if we're going to win this match. Really, really badly. Right now they win in 5, we win in 15. So it's looking pretty good for Team Red. When out of the blue, who pops the Akazuki? And this is where I kind of wish I'd popped my smoke. And there you have it. There's the misplay. I got him. I get it. It's just a flesh wound. But I feel that if I'd popped my smoke, there's just a chance that he might have thought I had my hydro on and backed off. And that thought will haunt me now, ladies and gentlemen, for the rest of my life. But I got 1,231,000 credits. It was actually quite an exciting game. And yeah, top of the team on the losing side. Not quite as good as my Seawolf friend, Seawolf Hagen. But it was a pretty good match. It was a pretty good match. I ended up complimenting the Iparanga because, well, damn. And as you can see, I got a pretty good spread of damage, and we did pretty okay with the 160% credit booster. There you go. So that's my misplay for this week. If you've got any misplays, send them in. And links in the description. Okay, upload them to WOWS replays, and then send me the link via email, and I will have a look at your replays, and if I consider them worthy, they will go on the channel and I will do a live commentary of your efforts. Thank you all for watching. Thank you.